that Christie, because of his proximity to New York City and because he served as chairman of the Republican Governors Association, probably has the strongest freestanding network of donors aside from Jeb Bush at this point. So it will impact him, but it will probably impact him less than some of the other candidates.
Here's a cliche. If you look up brash in the dictionary, you will undoubtedly find a picture of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. The man has a style all his own, but it may be that style that keeps him from any chance of becoming president. Then again, he has plenty of time to make voters an offer they can't refuse. He's the creator of the Christie Chronicles blog, has covered every step of the governor for 3+ years, now churns out the latest for WNYC in New York. Let's welcome Matt Katz to MidPoint. Matt, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, we're going to just let you know, too, that we're watching what's happening in Washington. We may have to break away when they tell us the president is ready to speak. So let's try and get as much in here as we possibly can. What is Chris Christie doing? And in your opinion, what do you think is happening right now as they try to get him ready to become more amenable, if you will, to the rest of America and not just the people who like him in the grit tough Northeast?
You know, they maintain that he is amenable to the rest of America, and they maintain that his grittiness, his jerseyness, if you will actually play elsewhere and will play in Iowa and South Carolina. They think people are going to see him as real and a regular guy and less of a politician than the rest of the field, and they don't think they need to do much to change his persona. They are working on the policy elements, though. Certainly he is not up to speed as one might be if he were already a federal official on certain things like immigration and other policy specifics. And I think that's where the concentration is right now.
Is that the big point here now, that they've got to make sure that people see him as policy, or at least knowing what he's talking about on a national and international scene? Because with all due respect to the governor, he really doesn't know an awful lot about what's happening between North Korea, Israel, so many other places, because he doesn't see the daily briefings.
That's right, and for sure, and they have to show voters that he's more than personality, that there's substance there. And once he announces, you're going to start to see him take some actual positions on these things. I also think they're going to harken back to when he was U.S. Attorney. You know, he was a Bush appointee, the U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, and he dealt with issues like terrorism and immigration, financial policy on a national level, medical issues, Medicare, Medicaid. So these are things that he's had some experience, and he was U.S. Attorney for 7 years, so he's had some experience with these sorts of issues, and I feel like they will start to accentuate that. Remember, he was named U.S. Attorney in the months after September 11th, right in New Jersey, next to Ground Zero, where we were attacked. And I think they're gonna emphasize that point.
Let me ask you this much here. When it comes down to Bridgegate, there are still some people who don't want to let this go, despite the fact that there's been an investigation. The governor's been cleared. As a matter of fact, Mika Brzezinski on MSNBC, who might be one of the biggest media hacks that there is, basically said to not Chuck Scarborough, but Joe Scarborough the other day, "Oh, let's just let it play out." How do you get past this? Because some people, no matter how much proof is sitting on the table, are just going to sit on that one side and say, "Oh, let's let it play out a little bit longer because we just want to make sure that we dirty him up."
This is the issue. The issue is that technically the U.S. Attorney, Obama appointee, is still investigating Bridgegate. Now, we have seen no evidence that the governor ordered these lane closures. However, some of his associates and his appointees were certainly involved in dealing with the damage control in the immediate aftermath. And it seems like some of his appointees at the bridge agency, the Port Authority, were actually involved in closing down the lanes. Now, because the U.S. Attorney is still technically investigating, and because the U.S. Attorney very well might indict somebody within the administration or at least within this bridge agency, it's going to still kick around. And the governor has to hope that either the indictments come quick and that they're of no import to him, there's somebody much lower, or the U.S. Attorney comes out and says officially, we found nothing and we're not pursuing this any further. But to date, that hasn't happened.
To date, of course. 20 seconds left. Is the best part about Christie is he's a fan of the Cowboys and he's willing to needle the Philadelphia Eagles fans about it. I got to believe that's not sitting well at all in Philly.
Oh, my God, it is not. He took a beating when he went to the Eagles game last week with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. And he's going back to Dallas this weekend to see the Cowboys this weekend.
You better be real careful here, because he better become a Giants or a Jets fan if he wants to start to curry some of those votes, or maybe stay in Dallas, who knows. But then again, Jerry Jones has got a lot of money to help as things go on. We know that as well. Matt Katz, a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us, my friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, break, and we're back with a field trip to a small island just south of Florida, and some reality on how those of Cuban descent really feel about the new relationship between America and the Castro government. Also, don't forget, we're keeping an eye on the White House right now, waiting for the president, who will speak to the nation and answer questions. We'll carry it live on MidPoint.